And
Just
we
bullshitting our way through this. Oh.
And we are live.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Bullshitting our way through this as usual. Yes.
Exactly.
We were actually here. We were actually pretty good on time, but Shane wanted to make sure we had articles and shit lined up. I don't know why.
Ducks in a row.
We're never going to do it. We're never going to go back to it. It's just going to be like, we're just going to offhand say it and then probably bounce to it and go, squirrel.
Yep.
Squirrel.
Exactly. What happened?
All right.
BTS.
So
masturbating. What?
Tomb Raider. Anyway.
Exactly.
Peace on. Anyway. Okay, guys. Whew. What a week. What a week and a bunch of different things here. We haven't.
Yes. What a week, but way to start. This may be one of the best comments ever.
Dude, if I could give you a super chat, sir, I would. If I could for that. That is amazing.
Well, I'm not back in 5 minutes. Just wait longer. That's so great. Thank you for that.
Oh man, that was one of my favorite lines.
It's a great show now. Maybe, probably not. But here we are.
I love that. I used to use that line all like for the longest time. It's if I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
I remember how long it took me several watches to catch that line. And I don't know why. I remember like being a little bit older and have seen the movie several times. And then I caught it like, wait a minute, I've never heard that before. And, it's probably on watch like number 11 or something. And yeah,
really,
that's one of my favorites. Yeah, I don't know why. It was just one of those things that I didn't catch or didn't get, I guess, at the time.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've always gotten it because that whole sequence I always found is hilarious when he has the sunglasses. Captain Slog. And I do it all the time. It's like, I just can't do it, Captain. I do have the power. Like, I don't know. I just there's so many things I always reference that part for some reason. So I guess that part's always stuck with me. So
I don't know. I don't know why, but one of the lines that has stuck with me that I use probably more than anything in that movie almost is, what's the password? Oh no, what is this? A New England clam chowder. Is that the red or the white? How am I ever supposed to remember that? What? And then just the way, like, it opens, he's like, yes. It's like slides in. It's fantastic. I do that all the time.
From that specific scene, mine would be, God, I can't believe what this so squirrel.
It's all who threw us off? JBM?
Yeah,
you bastard.
But like, I love when he's talking to the guy and the guy's just rocking out, like rocking his head. He's like, and he's just talking to him. All right, and he just walks away.
Yeah, no, he asked for the guy. Is such and such here? Oh, thank you, or something like that. The other one that I use too all the time is, do not go in there. Woo! He comes out all soaking wet of the bathroom.
Oh man. Oh, God. That maybe we should do a watch along to that. I don't know. It'll get like 20 views, but it'll probably be just us and JBM here. But
exactly. Right in line with our normal views.
Oh man. What foolishness is this, Russ?
What we say all the time.
This is one of the greatest movies of all time. And see, I think Shane and I have the debate of what's the best Jim Carrey movie. I think the first Ace Ventura is the best, and I assume yours is Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I probably it's hard to compete against that one. They're all great, but man, that one's hard. I was watching some clips the other day that were just happened to be on Instagram randomly. I got into one of those weird rabbit holes. I've been trying to avoid Twitter for some random reasons.
You, myself, and Irene. That's actually something I've been quoting a lot lately for some reason too. Like, we've been making jokes, like trying to fight, like just like.
That's great. But the mask, of the mask. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That was the rabbit hole that I got in. And like with Instagram's algorithm and everything, when you click on, their I can't remember what it is, explore page or something, and you start like really getting into the videos, and a bunch were just showing up. I'm like, man, this movie's pretty good. Like, I gotta watch this one again.
The Son of Pet Detective, or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Did you watch it?
No.
Oh, okay.
The little fat kid.
Yeah,
Nah,
no,
I'm good.
I didn't either. And then, and then there was like Dumb and Dumber when Harry met
You
Lloyd.
guys are making it harder, but Jesus.
Oh, Bruce Almighty's so good.
I actually use that all these ponies and nowhere to run when I'm stuck in traffic.
Vroom, except we just sit there.
Yeah, nothing happens. No parting of the seas for me.
Bruce Almighty is. I love when he like is getting ready to bone his wife and he goes, shh, and all of his clothes come off. Fantastic. Cable Guy, man. Yeah. You guys, we had a track here always.
Yeah, no, it went Jim Carrey route. It went the route. Where did I see that? Where did I see that? There it. Where the hell did I just see? All right, we'll get to Falcon and Winter Soldier shortly. All right, don't throw us off track anymore. Anyway, so
all right. Anyways,
we have been using that. We actually used that when one of the guys at work sneezes. We're like, we did not know about disease until the white man came. Oh, Quincy Ocha, I use that all the time.
Yes, for sure.
Actually, funny thing was, I got Shane and his cousin to pop pretty hard because at the end of which is it, Black Panther? I think it's Black Panther when they show Bucky and he's still armless.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the very end, and we got to get the White Wolf going again or something like that. All the kids are running around. He comes out of the little hut. And right in the middle of the movie, I'm like, oh, Quincy Ocha. Oh, Quincy Ocha.
That's right. Oh, man.
I got your cousin and you to pop pretty hard on that. Especially your cousin. Yeah, your cousin was like red as hell. Oh, yeah, man. I remember that.
Good times. Yeah,
we use a Quincy Ocha at work all the time.
Fantastic.
Oh, anyway. Okay, so let's jump from Ace Ventura to Mortal Kombat.
I feel like I got some weird lighting. Sorry, guys. Whatever.
That's what they're here for.
That just made it worse. Boom. There we go. All right, now we're gonna get nice and personal. Hello.
Oh, Jesus. Well, you're the only second person to ask, Hardboil. So Shane sent me something today that he started outlining some stuff, and I'm like,
well, outlining.
I got what I want to do in the beginning. I actually came up with a great. This is me. I gotta tell Shane about it. I haven't told him yet, but I came up with a great thing for episode 5. So I know that's already jumping way ahead, but
episode 4.
Yeah, we'll get to episode 4 and stuff. But I had this great thing for episode 5 that I've thought of, and I think it's going to be pretty sweet. But yeah, episode 4, we'll pick it up here. Life, the story that is life is just insane. Like we were, we tried to do like some edited fun videos and mix it with the live streams, but man, there has just been no time at all for anything. It just it becomes an endless cycle, guys. Endless cycle. But well, we still got live streams that we can do. We'll hopefully be able to do those other videos too, because I know there's kind of a divide within our audience of the live streams.
What? Yeah.
Of the live streams compared to the the edited content and everything like that. So we'll see who wins. No.
I am a shill for sure. I got this shirt available on our website that surprisingly we still have.
I forgot about that shirt.
We got this hat. We don't have the pillow up yet, because it's too much. We're trying. The easier thing for us to do, because there's less formatting, is the live streams. We can BS.
And then Shane now has gone straight up retarded. He needs a script now for everything.
Me?
No.
Not just me.
Last video that we did, I was like, are we really gonna need a script for this again? You're like, oh yes.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. No, it's bad. But both of us, you fuck.
Live stream v edit.
All right. So to start, I guess I'll share some shit. Hold on. Jabam.
Are we gonna talk about Mortal Kombat?
Yep. That's what we're gonna start with. I don't even know what I'm sharing. There we go. Bam. Mortal Kombat. 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. I guess we'll try to keep this non-spoiler. I don't know.
Is there really anything to spoil?
No, I guess not. Good point. But anywho, Matt,
Well,
go ahead.
I'll give you mine. I fell asleep through it for the first 30 minutes. After the first 30 minutes, I fell asleep. Missed the middle, but I don't really think I missed a lot. And then came out at the end and had no idea what was going on. Then I rewatched it again from start to finish to see what happens. Fell asleep almost again at the same exact point. Then I decided just to rewind it and watch the part that I've missed and realized I didn't miss anything. So it still just made no freaking sense whatsoever. And for some reason, I cannot get over the fact that the dude from The Dark Knight, the guy that was the accountant, is now Shang Tsung, and I'm supposed to believe that he can kick ass. That's my biggest hang up from that movie.
Yes.
Well, I have two. And also Cole sucks. What a terrible character.
Yeah, he was he's supposed to be like the lead, but he played a very confusing role. He was the lead in the movie, but then also took a backseat to like almost every fight. It was yeah, 95
nothing really happened about him either. He just got like armor, and then like that's it. Like he's not like he got stronger unless the armor gives him strength. Like I don't know. It's just random. It just all of a sudden he got like nano armor or something out of nowhere because he has a tattoo.
If Shane, I was judging it based solely on action, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I love the fights. No, oh man, I thought
some of them. Cool. I mean, the couple of them are fine, but there's some other ones that are just like they are just garbage.
This movie to me, and maybe this is why I was giving it a little bit of a pass because I really like the action. The story was meh, but plot armor. It felt incredibly choppy. So I kind of felt for I can't even remember who the director is in this one. Anywho, but I was trying to scroll. Hold on. Louis Tan is thank you, Justin. Cole. Anywho, Justin, thank you. But it's I don't know. I didn't hate it, but you can tell it's
nothing to hate.
It's
just there.
Yeah.
And I mean a lot of actors have come out and this started a whole nother thing with WB and what they're doing. Even though this is a New Line movie, but WD is the parent company and HBO Max is their launching platform and everything. I mean, there's a lot of things. A lot of actors have come out saying there's a lot of things that have been deleted, and you don't know anymore if that
this
means...
guy.
God damn it, Shane.
That's the director. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're just like this guy. What was his name?
Simon McCoy.
Oh, okay. Just you're like this guy.
I clicked on it.
Well, it's not like it's that big that we can all just see what that was. Anyway, there I blew us up. There we go. Anyway, now I can see things better. But so there's like WB mess with this because this is now the story of WB. Every movie that comes out that feels choppy, that feels hyper edited in some way, or massively overhauled, like Godzilla versus Kong. They immediately now, because of their history and what they've done, people immediately just jump to, WB fucked this up, and we could be all right because the way they've been handling so many movies, the way their track record speaks to it so well that they fuck things up with everything they touch. So
exactly,
it just kind of comes down to like I don't know, did they do it? Did they screw with it? It looks like it. It's hyper edited as shit. The characters make no sense.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the producer's words when they were coming up with the movie, and he says the first thing they came up with is the first thing that came to mind was what would Marvel do? And you're like, for a rated R fighting movie, why would you even be considering anything Marvel related? And he's talking about necessarily building a universe out of this, but it's like, all right, look at it so far. What genres have had any luck doing this? I mean, we have the MonsterVerse, just up and down. Well, we're actually up, and then down, really. And then you have, what is that, the Dark Universe or whatever, when it was like the Mummy and Dracula and all that other stuff. They were trying to redo that one and everything. It's just like this like concept of like, what would Marvel do doesn't help you with anything.
Well,
Stop thinking. And it's just sad to see what happens to these movies and these people that this just becomes the bar at this point. But yeah, go ahead, Shane. I know you want to say something.
yeah, no, I like the idea. I like the idea of trying to build these larger universes, setting up for other things. You're right. Execution is key.
As my favorite thing is if they did it right, it would be good.
Right.
Because I see that all the time.
Exactly.
Like when we get comments about Snyder, it's like, well, he's never going to do Superman right. And I'm like, well, what's Superman right?
Exactly.
Like,
but on the universe side of things, The Conjuring is. I'm not a horror movie guy, but The Conjuring, from my understanding, that whole, what is it, like 6 movies or something like that was built up. It wasn't that pretty acclaimed as well. And yeah, like the concept of the universe doesn't always work. And when you're comparing Mortal Kombat versus MCU, you're like, what? You can't really compare the two. But I guess kind of trying to establish some characters. The problem is this feels like it almost should have been a series, or in way longer. And it was, and that's why I think that's why I give it a pass. Why, like, I'd probably watch it again. I enjoyed it for what it was. I've said this a couple times about my oldest, when she will love every movie. 16 loves every movie that's out there aside from the Hulk. Not the Incredible Hulk, but the like 2002 Hulk or whatever, was bored out of her mind. And then for this, she was throwing out like all these flaws and everything of like, no, I don't know about that. Wait, what just happened? And that typically doesn't happen. So it was that boring of a movie.
Yeah, I just wanted to share
I
this.
guess just that choppy. Go ahead.
I just wanted to show this real quick because I saw some people asking what would Marvel do? Question mark. Like, so yeah, right here. Mortal Kombat producer Todd Garner, explains the movie's long development, including MCU influences. We started on the premise of what would Marvel do? And I'm just like, all right. So you have that. You have a terrible studio, even though it is under New Line Cinema, but you have a parent company anyway that's very well known for just ripping things apart. The 2-hour mandate from hell, because look at Godzilla versus Kong. Look at this. I mean, it just becomes...
We're 34 this year as well. Hit the nail on the head. I think it's just one of those where there's so much gore and maybe not gore, but blood. There's some cool action shots. I did enjoy. I don't know
if I would, because my favorite character is Scorpion, and I'm like, I think the original '95 version did Scorpion. I don't know. I mean, I guess they gave Scorpion and Sub-Zero a backstory. It's right. Like if I could take that front piece and then just somehow add it to the '95 version. And then somehow make Scorpion and Sub-Zero not just random dudes in the movie in the '95 version. Boom, that's almost a perfect Mortal Kombat movie. And but I like the fact that they gave him some story, but it's just like everybody else is just a sidestep to this whole thing. And then Scorpion just not randomly, but magically just pops in thanks to the gardening tool from hell.
Yeah. I love. I saw this thing that said Sub-Zero is the worst assassin ever. Like he didn't technically kill Scorpion. He didn't kill Jax. He didn't kill the family, which that was also kind of that was something that
the only thing he did good was killed that one kid. That's it.
That was fucked up. I was like,
really? That was the only. I guess I'm malicious. I'm malicious.
Yeah, you are.
I was actually surprised how tame it was.
But that's true.
Because I was this is a rated R movie. They've been killing people like crazy. I thought we were going to see a family, like a shish kebab.
I don't think
a shish kebab, ice shish kebab. I thought that's what we were going to see, but no, he just froze them holding together. They look like Jack Nicholson at the end of fucking Shining.
Exactly. But then the family at the end, they could stay long enough for what's his name to like really fast. Cole, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
can you do that again? What's he gonna do? Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, this movie is really dumb. I like Scorpion. I like Sub-Zero, but it was really corny, and it was just like really over the top. I just like at the beginning or somewhat at the beginning. I don't know where I fell asleep. Anyway, but an Outworld too, Outworld just looks like it's fucking just this. It looks like all there is to Outworld is this bridge. That's it.
I guess.
It's just a fucking bridge. That's all Outworld is.
It could have been so much more. It's one of those where I feel like the movie, there's something there, and yet, and I think maybe if it was done by another studio, I'd be like, well, that was shitty, that was terrible. But because it was done the way that it was,
yeah. So the Scorpion, I saw that one. Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was bloody as hell, and I was like, honestly, when I saw that movie, I was like, oh, this is because. A lot of places, well, actually, mainly WB does it when it comes to at least comic book movies that I've seen, is that when they throw out an animation movie, it's kind of something that might come down the pike fairly soon. Like the concept might come down the pike pretty soon. And I mean, because remember, like Jay Oliva's Dark Knight Returns came out in 2012. Right. And in 2013, like, right when they're establishing older Batman and everything, when they were working that with before Man of Steel came out. These things kind of, First Flight, Green Lantern First Flight came out in 2009. Then Green Lantern movie came out in 2011. So I've always felt they kind of used some of these animated movies to kind of, as a feeder, to kind of get a feel for some of this stuff, how certain stories could be done anyway. And when I saw that Scorpion Mortal Kombat animation movie, I figured, I'm like, oh, I think this is the way that the movie's going to go. And the movie starts and you're like, it's very, very similar to that. It starts out with Scorpion's clan killing, Sub-Zero's clan killing Scorpion. I was like, oh, there you go. And then it just dives into this random dude named Cole, who, from what I understand, is not even in the games at all. He's just a random character they made up to give him a wife and kids, so he's some ancestral asshole to Scorpion.
No.
Oh, no.
I did not know that.
So it's just some random... So out of the plethora of characters that they have in the Mortal Kombat universe, they just make up a guy so you can have a emotional connection. It reminds me so much when I was watching that Kid and the Wife. I was like, there was like I don't know if it's a spoof or what, but there's this guy talking about how they always got to find a way to have that anchor and stuff like that.
Right.
What people say. Feel like it was missing a big chunk. Yeah, it feels like a huge chunk is missing. A lot of like characters like you could even care about, but I don't even know if that would fix anything because I just didn't care about anybody. Like I mean, I don't. Some of the casting I thought was kind of weird. I don't know.
I feel like
I can't get over the Shang Tsung casting. I can't get over that. And Kano didn't have a fucking plate on his face. I'm like, right. Just like, I'm just, no. No.
If you fill out the story a little bit more, I feel like it was just so chopped to shit. And yeah, the Cole thing, I was not aware that he was not an actual. I only played a handful of the games. I liked the Mortal Kombat.
I played up
series.
To 4.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, like I played more of the classic ones, and really not much of the recent stuff. But it's I don't know. I feel like there was something there. It could have been a lot better. I thought the action was cool, but
I mean, some of the fights. I mean, the last fight at the end was great. I liked that. I enjoyed that. I did think it was kind of funny. I was like, if this was wrestling, these guys would not be the babyface. But anyway, right. that was kind of bugging me. I was like, when did the babyface need a 2-on-1 advantage? I guess this is how badass Sub-Zero is.
Exactly.
But yeah, and just it's like it's called like Mortal Kombat. It's about a tournament, but all this was before the tournament. So I was kind of like, all right, I guess. But again, they're trying to build a universe, so I guess it's just leading up to this progression of events to keep happening. But I guess it sounds like this was a thing forever. Anyway, I don't know. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Some of the casting I couldn't get over that much. I can't get over the actor that played in The Dark Knight as the accountant being Shang Tsung. Like, and I was just like, man, you are just. I don't know. I like a picture you scared in the corner or getting dragged out of a fucking business building by Batman. Like I don't know.
I do feel like too the setup for Johnny Cage was kind of interesting. It almost felt like the Power Rangers, where you remember how like at the very end there's where's Tommy, and then there's like the green chair or the green jacket on the chair or whatever. You know, like it was setting up kind of for something else, but really you should just given us that from the start.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, could have followed Johnny Cage. It would have been fine. Not this Cole guy. It's just weird. It's just very weird.
Yeah. Again, I don't hate it. I don't really hate it. I have absolutely nothing. It actually kind of reminds me of Far From Good, Spider-Man. What is it? Far From Home is the real name.
Yeah.
Anyway, or Far From Caring. That was our thing. Yeah. I just don't feel anything for the movie. I'm like, I kind of came out of like, I guess I'm not meant like the demographic. Like, it just feels like this is just, I guess, for the people that have seen the more, or have played the more recent games, maybe. But I don't know. Does it hit home for them? I don't know. But to me, like, these characters suck. Jax, I mean, I don't know. Is it me, or did Jax look extremely tiny? Like the actor they had playing.
Oh, I thought it was cool. He's a lot bigger. He plays Jimmy Olsen in the Supergirl show. And so when I saw him, I was like, oh, shit. And then
I don't know. He just looks so small. Like, again, when I feel like Mortal Kombat Annihilation did a better job with that Jax character, like, that's not a good sign.
Hey, don't be hating on Annihilation. I like that movie as a kid.
You haven't watched it recently. I used to love it at the end when I was
holds up. It holds up in my mind.
No,
I don't think I can go back
well,
to
then
it.
never watch it again and be oblivious to what it really is.
Yeah.
Because I remember as a kid, I used to think it was the better Mortal Kombat movie because it had more characters in it.
Right. I remember, I think we've had this conversation. I feel like you and I have watched it together. Like when we first became friends, we were like, yeah, this is the shit. Not good.
But if you watch it now, it is complete dog shit. Oh man, it is such a see, that's the thing. Yeah. They just I was like, at least in the Annihilation, it was an augmentation. Like they were, you know, wrapped around his original arms, but these ones just keep like growing. They're modified. They're like Cyborg.
Is it bad? I just thought about Power Rangers again. Make my arms grow.
Yeah, I did that. Man. Yeah, MCU Spider-Man. I saw actually a bunch of clips circulating around on the social medias of like Amazing Spider-Man, and they were showing him swing. Like I think it was number 2 or number 1, and they're showing him swing through New York. And I was like, oh my god. Like it looks gorgeous. It just looks great. It's just like we've lost so much with Iron Boy. Like we just
and people like it. They eat it.
There we go. So I'm just saying
they eat it up.
Yeah, it's just Sonya Blade too. Yeah. It's like just think about I hate to do this, but it's like think about the 95 version and the interactions between Kano and Sonya. It just feels so much more real. Like this one is just, this guy's just a fucking witty Australian guy. Like there's just nothing there. It feels like there's no connection between the two really at all. And I don't know. I just feel like it's pointless. It's not a very good movie. It's pretty dumb. And
I mean, for number 2.
And sadly, because, and this kind of goes into the success of HBO Max that we're going to talk about, it did pretty big numbers on HBO Max, and it did decent numbers in the box office, especially for a rated R movie.
Mm-hmm.
And during this troubling times that we're in, where a lot of theaters are still kind of, working their way back into the works of things. But this also shows that while some people were doubting WB about some of the things they were going to do here, that putting all these movies on there, it seems like their double dipping approach is working. It is somewhat successful. The movies suck ass so far. Godzilla versus Kong, Mortal Kombat, these bigger, more, mainstream movies are pretty bad. And I think they're lucky. It actually makes you start wondering, like, maybe they knew how bad these were going to be, and it was probably a good idea to just throw them out on the streaming service. Yeah. We'll have to see. I'm curious now. I'm curious on Matrix 4. Matrix 4 is going to really tell me. This may sound dire and doom and gloom, but Matrix 4 kind of makes me feel like we'll see what happens with the movie industry. Because I feel like just everything is so generic, and it feels like there's like 2 guys writing every movie. Because everything feels the damn same. And nothing feels different. Nothing seems like it's coming from other people. Even superhero movies now, when you're looking at what what's going to be coming up, It all looks like it's being written by the same dudes, same people. Like these movies are going almost in the same direction with multiverse and other choices. It's all going in the same direction. So it feels like two dudes are writing. So it'll be interesting with Matrix 4. If Matrix 4 falls into that or not, I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I think everyone is trying to, going back to what you're saying about having a universe and kind of building upon that. Everyone is trying to get that coveted $1 billion. And Paul in the comments earlier had said that this movie, Mortal Kombat, was a perfect movie for a streaming service. And I agree. And I feel like that may be the biggest benefit right now, especially if they knew the movies are just okay. The biggest benefit that they have right now is they are still at least gaining traction. So to people who have HBO Max that maybe are like, I don't know if I'm going to go see this in the theaters, or like me, I wanted to see it in the theater actually, and then just didn't have the time. Well, I have the time to, catch it on a stream. Then I'm already paying for it. I don't have to pay anything additional. And so it's kind of one of those things. And I feel like maybe that's giving them more traction, like on social media, more impressions. People are kind of, they're looking for something to do. Not everything's quite open yet. If you want to go see it in the theaters, you can, but I feel like more people are watching these movies because they are now more easily accessible. And I feel that could have been the strategy from the beginning, or maybe it's just panning out because, like you said, maybe the movies aren't really as good as they thought, or they knew like, these are just going to be kind of grade B movies. Let's just throw them out there.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what they do. And HBO Max, they finally had their quarterly investment meeting. A lot of people were waiting to see if anything was going to come out of this. Not much at all. They gained 2.7 million subscribers in their Q1 of 2021. And some people said that wasn't good. Some people said that was great. Again, like we talked about last time, conflicting meanings, conflicting articles. Some people say it's good. Some people say it's bad. You have no idea. I thought it sounded pretty good but a lot of people are comparing it to Disney. And I'm like, well, Disney's half the price of HBO Max. So, I mean, they're $14.99 for fuck's sake. That's a lot for a streaming service. I mean, Netflix had to work their way up to that for people to accept that.
Exactly.
Shit.
To say
HBO Max
this is what we're worth.
Came out the fucking door with it and slapped you in the face with their cock and said, no, $14.99.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, even if you have like AT&T, like a phone or something like that, I think you still have to pay a little bit. It's not like just free.
No,
is it free?
It's free. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For how long? I think I told this story indefinitely as of right now. It's not like for a year or anything like that. When I told this story last year, because I had signed up for HBO Max and it kind of hosed me, because then I started like kind of building my playlists and like all this stuff. I created all these accounts. Not that it was all that much work. And then I found out that it's free for AT&T, and I was like, crap. So then all you have to do is just sign in with your credentials that you already have, and then and sign into it, and boom, you have HBO Max. And so it's not one of those perks of like, oh, get it free for the first year. It's just, nope, you get HBO Max. I just got another advertisement for some odd reason, because I already have them as a cell service. But I got another advertisement that said, get this, and then get HBO Max. And it just ends at that. So it's there. I don't know if eventually, I feel like maybe once they kind of pick up traction, they may make AT&T subscriber or whatever already customers pay for it. But that might be also boosting their numbers. I know that's where some people were saying, well, the numbers are kind of misleading because you have X amount that aren't actually paying for it. So that's cutting into the margin and blah, blah, blah. And all that stuff. And that's why there was like the retail ones versus the not. No, I can't.
He's very good at this. He's very good at paying twice for things, for multiple things. Remember, he's bought, what was it? Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
Yeah, you bought Man of Steel multiple times.
That's worth it. HBO Max, I canceled. I did cancel. And then I went, shit, I could get it for free. That's where some of it gets confusing. And again, we've talked about this before. The media will spin spin their narrative however they see fit. So you have numbers on one side that are saying, nope, these are great numbers. And then you have people on the other side that are saying, no, these are terrible numbers. Well, which is it? To me, it seemed like they were pretty strong. I feel like they're picking up some steam, like what you talked about.
And that's what happens with your future movies. That's why Kong and Mortal Kombat are doing really good. Over 3 million people, because 2.7 million people signed up in quarter 1. So they've kept that subscription going over into these movies. And so that buildup has carried those movies over. And now you have that many people still watching your streaming service. So, I mean, we knew that. I remember when this was originally announced, I knew it was going to muddy up some water. Muddy up some water about how things were going to be, and it did. It basically did, for the most part. It's hard to tell what numbers or anything, what caused these numbers in any way. It's hard to say in a lot of factors now. No, we're not. I mean, there's some people out there saying cancel HBO Max. I mean, I said this last time about the boycotting thing. If you want to boycott them personally, go for it. If you want to cancel your HBO Max subscription, go for it. That is completely your choice. But I just don't see doing those type of things. They're not going to go backwards. They're just going to go forward. They're just going to do something different. They've just shown that over and over again. So it's just
To clarify real quick, if you're asking about it, if I canceled, I canceled last year when I realized that I was already getting it for free through AT&T. So I signed up after Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced, posted on Twitter. All right, I'm a man of my word. And then as soon as I found out that it was free for me because I'm already an AT&T customer, then I canceled the one I was paying for, and then went that route. That to kind of clarify. So I still have it, and I enjoy it. I'm actually picking up and seeing more things that are on there. This I thought was very odd. I'm sure maybe you did hear about this matter, maybe not. But in the ever-growing battle for just pure content, apparently HBO Max and Warner Media now have gotten some rights for the NHL. So they are going to have a portion, from my understanding, I could be wrong on this, they're going to have a portion of the NHL games on HBO Max. So they're branching even further into, they're just trying to grab up whatever they can. And it's crazy. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Peacock. I signed up for that just because the stupid WWE network is no longer a thing. So I signed up for it. I'll give it a try, same much as that I was paying for WWE. And the way that they break it out is that they have sports. They have like the kind of their live TV. It's a guide, which is very fascinating. Then they have like their own little channels. So there's a WWE one and some other things. And I feel like that's where HBO Max is like, okay, Warner Media needs to grab a hold of whatever content they can. And so now they have a partnership along with like ESPN. And yeah, it's very interesting to kind of see the ever growing battle between these streaming services and whatever content they can muster up.
Especially if content, Invincible tonight.
Oh, sorry.
Was me not clicking on it good enough for you?
No, I jumped over to the the deal is with Turner Sports, and HBO Max is a part of it. But they are going to have on HBO Max sports, which is just again just growing. But anyways, go back, Invincible, bam.
Are you sure now? You still want to keep talking about hockey?
Go on.
All right.
Of the cock, of course.
Of course. About the cock. All right, Invincible tonight. For someone like me who was ready for that, I've already watched the season finale of Invincible. Dude, I don't know, man. It's sad that I figured because it was animated, it was going to have maybe a little bit more episodes to it. But it's only 8. And I'm like, man, it's animation. Shouldn't it be a little bit easier to streamline this? I know I understand like The Boys have to take a year and 8 episodes and stuff like that. Are you getting a bunch of cock jokes now?
No, I'm laughing because I am subscribed to the DC universe.
You still are?
Yeah, I think I've told this story on one of our other streams, but it auto renewed because it's just a yearly thing. So It auto renewed, and just out of laziness, I was like, well, I guess I'm keeping it. And yeah, I did because I showed you how many comics it has, and
Yeah.
I've been reading some, and then now I have my son reading. He has to read for school, but he can read whatever he wants, and he has to draw a little picture. Well, he is big into Fortnite, and Fortnite's been smart, and they've partnered with a lot of like Marvel and DC and stuff like that. Well, they've partnered with the DC universe, so he's getting free shit on Fortnite for reading the comics on the DC Universe app. I'm like, boom, $70, well worth it. Got my son reading. It's more than I could say I was doing. No, I did read comic books, but I didn't read much of anything else.
Oh man, this is anyway. So Invincible, it wrapped up again, 8 episodes, and I thought it was gonna be a little bit more. Hopefully they can, as one of the big topics were, I guess at least for us anyway, the people that like the show, Invincible did get. Oh, all right,
bam.
You have that. I have the tweet.
Oh, okay.
Mine's better.
Anyway. Go ahead. You can share yours if you want. I was gonna play the video. I thought the video was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Bam.
I had it all planned out. Oh.
It didn't look like it. Go ahead.
I was trying to.
Where's the audio? You got the audio planned out?
Hold on.
You'll probably do a better job than me, so I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Oh, he's minimized. Oh. Yes, JBM, you can still sub to D. Why you guys a bunch of haters on DC Universe? You ever read comics?
As soon as it auto renewed me, I immediately canceled my thing afterwards. So I had to wait a year and then it finally canceled.
Dang. Wait, there's backstories in Playboy?
Yeah,
I don't last long enough to be able to read. Just open it. Sable.
Sable. God damn, Shane. How old is these Playboys? I was supposed to say comic.
All right, good times.
Let's play this video here. This is Mr. Steven Yen and obviously Robert Kirkman talking about how season 2 and 3 got greenlit on Amazon.
What's going on? I have like 18 missed calls from you.
Listen, I apologize. I'm very sorry to bother you. I don't know where you are or what you're doing. I just wanted to give you some news. Can I give you some news?
Yeah, what's up? Is everything okay?
We have just heard from Amazon that we have been picked up for season 2.
Yeah.
We're also getting picked up for season 3 as well. Season 2 and 3.
That's amazing. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna we're gonna make 2 more seasons? Just go nuts?
We're gonna make 2 more seasons. Hopefully we're gonna make 100 more seasons.
I am so excited that we're gonna have more.
Invincible.
Boom. More.
If you haven't seen the show, that's actually a thing they do, which I actually love.
Yeah,
I love it so much. It reminds me of a comic. Like it just
the blood
turn the
splatter
page. Yeah,
every time.
Yeah. Oh man, blood. Yeah. If you haven't seen the most recent episode, oh my god, that season finale. That there's not that much blood in a human being. Anyway. That's my
doesn't really matter.
I don't know. I have watched
wrestling.
Really
even care about that.
I Blade a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Ric Flair.
Yeah. Yep.
There's some Ric Flair cuts.
He's playing like a stuffed pig. Oh man. I don't know why I just did a Jim Ross quote and a Vince McMahon impression, but I digress. That's all I got. Yeah, I'm stoked. As soon as I saw that, this show has caught me by surprise, and I absolutely love it. It's getting better. It is kind of interesting that there's a lot of tropes, I guess, and a lot of cliches in the show that you would find in like an actual live action TV show that, they'll incorporate like a, music montage almost where you're like, what? This is in the show. And I don't know if they're making a mockery of it or they're trying to be taken serious. It's kind of hard to figure out. But aside from that, the show's fantastic. I love it. It's balls of the wall, crazy. And if you have not checked it out, definitely check it out. I think you will be pleasantly surprised.
My dad
probably all
actually,
crusty and
my dad actually used to brag to me when I was younger about how he has all these old Playboys because of the people that interviewed in them. Because you have a lot of famous people that used to do interviews. So that was like his collector's item. But all he had was oh yeah, he has them in a box in like a shed though. I'm like, yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna want those. Like,
it might be worth a lot of money.
I don't know what. Well, theoretically, yeah, if they were taken care of, but these could be much loved. issues. Like, yeah, he's talking about the interviews, but what was the pictures in these?
Exactly.
And then he was showing me like a French one and stuff that he got when, and all this other crap. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I got this rare French one too. And like, all right. Anyway, yeah, cool.
If you thought that this was a family-friendly show, we do watch The Boys. We like Invincible, but I have a funny story. So my stepdad, who unfortunately has passed away when I was in high school, but he had stacks upon stacks upon stacks of Playboys, just an amazing collection. And I wasn't going to get any money for him passing away. He was going to hand me down his collection of Playboys. And I was stoked for it. Again, I'm in high school. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It's going to be great. They're going to be worth some money at some point. Well, his sister, I guess my aunt through marriage, kind of went through, and as he was passing along, he passed away of a disease. And so it took a little bit of time. She sold them all right from underneath me. My inheritance right from underneath me. And I was pissed. I was like, what do you mean?
Wouldn't be here if he had those. He'd be living it up.
Exactly. Money. Like, come on. Dang. It's messed up. So anyways, it's a funny story. Story time with the Marks.
Oh, yeah. Story times. I was actually trying to think of one of those to fill in the story time for the Marks thing. Like, try to give a good one. I'm like, I'm going through all these ones, and I'm like, I'm not sure if this one's good enough. I'm not sure if this one's good enough. Like, I keep going through. I'm like, I don't know. Like,
I just don't know if they're appropriate.
I don't care about appropriate. Well, there was one. I was like, I don't know if those guys want to be known. Because I don't know if if some mutual friends that we have, they want to be known where we were. like for a particular bachelor party, we went to a strip club called Cheetahs on a Tuesday afternoon.
And it was fantastic.
Oh my God.
I wasn't there.
Talk about the Z team. Holy crap.
The Z team.
That was a low bar, a very, very low bar. And okay, so I guess since I'm already talking about it, I'll just go into it. Anyway, so for a particular friend's,
nice.
For a particular friend's bachelor party, we went to San Diego. And that was another thing actually I was going to bring up was we also went on The Price is Right and shit like that. It's actually on YouTube. If you look it up, 40th anniversary edition of The Price is Right on YouTube. We're in the front row to the right of the screen. We're in green shirts. So I'm there at least, and some of our other mutual friends. Shane's not because he's an asshole. And so we went to this. We went to this club, and holy crap! So one of the on a Tuesday, I just saw it coming on a Tuesday. Yeah, well, when else are you gonna go? It was I believe it was 1 o'clock. Party. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. I believe is when we started. We didn't leave until like 4. So, and one of the biggest conundrums, I guess it's paradoxical almost, was that there was actually a germophobic stripper that worked there.
That is, that's the definition. Paradoxical.
It was unbelievable, and we found out in a lot of different ways that she was a germaphobe, and let's just say. It was me and another friend sitting there. Well, this was also a 18 and up, so they don't have alcohol there. But conveniently, it's right next to a bar. So they actually give you a special stamp where you go out this door, go 10 feet into this bar, grab a drink, and then come back 10 feet again. So it's kind of like this little. So there's like 5 or 6 of us, but we're always actually kind of broken up almost in 2s and 3s. Because we're basically circling in and out of this bar and the thing coming in this big loop. And so it was me and one other friend sitting there. And the germaphobe stripper is talking to my friend. And then this other stripper comes up next to me and she's like, hey, tell your friend not to get one from her. All right. And I'm like, wait, what? No, she's a germaphobe. She can't handle anything that happens here. And I was like, okay. And she's like, no, watch this. And she starts doing some things. And to me, and it makes the germaphobe stripper uncomfortable, and she walks away because she can't handle what's happening. I'm like, what the hell? And then she somehow convinces one of our friends to do a dance, and he goes back there all excited, comes out really, really pissed.
Oh my
Comes out
God.
really pissed, and we tell him like, "Hey, well, there's word that she's a germaphobe," and apparently, yeah, she didn't do anything. She just waved her hair in front of him. He's just like, and he got so mad when he found out she was a germaphobe. He's like, "I'm gonna go spit on her." Can you guess who this is, Shane?
Yeah, you've told me this story several times. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know exactly who it is. He is a wonderful human being
Yes,
that would
he is.
never degrade women. All right.
Yes.
I'm just throwing that out there. A little disclaimer. But
He's father.
Yeah, but got a little bit of a temper, especially back then. Not so much now, maybe.
And we have to hold him back to stop him from doing something stupid because this shit
And getting kicked out
and all this other stuff. But that became like the joke now was like the fact that we somehow found a strip club where there was a germaphobic stripper and she didn't want to touch anybody. And I was just like laughing my ass off. And so that story's probably not as good as the other ones, but I don't know. I was thinking about it recently. Anyway.
Man.
Okay. So Invincible, if you have not watched the show, we won't talk about spoilers or anything because I don't know if it's that complex of a show. It is getting into that. The complexity is building on it. But boy, it's just, I don't know. It's just I feel almost tension sometimes when I'm watching it. Like it's just the tension that goes on between certain characters and what's happening when they're trying to figure certain things out. I love the tension, and there is some tropes like just characters having random shit and stuff like that. Because and like Shane was talking about with the tropes, it's like there is some characters with some very tropey ideas, but then they kind of like suck at the same time. But then there's also some really great concept where there's a character called Duplicate, and the possibilities with that character is endless, and they show it briefly. If you were actually like married or going out with that character. I mean, a menage a trois, a menage a quatre.
Exactly. Yep.
Cinco?
Some of the names in this are so fantastic. Like Duplicate, her name is Kate. And then there's Adam Eve, but Adam Atom. And it has those like kind of oddball things, but it's so hilarious and incredibly well done. And I feel like they've laid a foundation for these characters, and I'm not sure how the comic book goes. I really want to read one now, or at least a series of them. But they've laid the foundation of the characters where it makes you want to know the backstories of each of them. So it's like getting the Justice League first, and a lot of them are ripoffs of the Justice League, kind of similar to the Boys. And, it's like getting the Justice League first and then waiting to build and understand kind of where some of these characters come from. You get like the backstory of Omni-Man, which is a ripoff OP Superman. If there is a version of an OP Superman who
it's
just
kind of like
ass.
Brightburn. It's like almost It is like there's like a lot of things, but yeah, Omni-Man is like, especially in the finale, it's very very it hints a lot towards what like a Superman or what the Kryptonians could have been. Yep. And stuff like that. And, I don't know. For some reason, they say Friday, but honestly, it drops for me like at 5 p.m. on Thursdays, like the Boys did, and same with Invincible. So I don't know. And then they even had a tweet drop, the Invincible thing that it was on there. It was ready to go. And so I mean, I don't know. That's when I've always when the Boys started doing it and shit like that, I've always been on top of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Fridays are kind of my thing, so I've never really paid attention to it. When I used to be off on Fridays, so then anything that would drop on like a Thursday, bam, I'd watch it on Friday, or it was already ready to go. So it's I don't know. I never really paid attention to the days when certain things drop because I just kind of catch up on the weekend anyways, for the most part. There's some things I'll kind of watch throughout the week, just to, I don't know, just killing time or whatever, if it's a half an hour long show, something. But yeah, it's interesting. Speaking of interesting,
speaking of series you have to catch up on, Falcon and Winter Soldier. The Falcon and Winter Soldier. We now have our Captain America 4 coming. Man, so Clarence got a gig. Anyway.
Quick side story. There's a guy named Clarence that just started at my work, and every time I see him, I just want to like make an 8 Mile reference. He's a nice guy, super nice guy, probably a lot nicer than Anthony Mackie. But I don't know if I've ever actually met a Clarence. This guy's a gangsta. His real name's Clarence.
He went to private school.
Clarence's parents have a real good marriage.
Anyway. So apparently he found out that he was going to be playing Captain America 4 as a cashier at the grocery store, which I for some reason I really don't freaking believe. I don't know. It feels like too much of a like, oh, like he's surprised, like he didn't see this coming and shit. And I don't know. It's when it comes to Marvel, everything just feels, well, actually, I guess it's just when it comes from these studios, everything feels manufactured. Everything. I swear nothing feels genuine coming out of Hollywood. And I guess that's kind of the story, really. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, right? They make fictional movies, right?
Yeah.
So why would anything actually authentic come out of Hollywood?
Yeah.
Anyway,
they have to. When you can't control the narrative, you see what's happened. Exhibit A, HBO Max, like what we were talking about. They do whatever they can to control the narrative, and Disney does a damn good job at it. Whether the stuff's real or not. It kind of reminds me of our good friend Mike. He talks about that everything in wrestling is a work. Everything. That there's nothing that's legit. And in a lot of cases, when you start really realizing it, you're like, well, crap. Nothing really is real for the most part. And so it makes you wonder. And this is kind of one of those things. And he says, "Oh, I'm excited. They flew me out to LA." To talk it over, but that's when he found out that there was going to be a 4th Captain America movie. Matt and I were talking about this offline before we hit the live button, and I almost said Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but
that
Falcon,
was the last credit.
Yep, exactly. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was an interesting show. And the example that I gave to Matt was, I feel that because my expectations were so low, I was actually pleasantly surprised, and that held me on for about 4 or 5 episodes. And I can't remember how many there are, maybe 7 or something like that, 7 or 8. And it held me on for a couple, and then eventually it kind of trailed off towards the end. And I felt that the last episode it was hard to keep my attention. There was parts that were just corny. It's cool. We got a Captain America now. They set it up in Endgame, and now their plan of like, okay, let's kind of prepare for a 4th Captain America movie. How do we do that? Let's have a series. Let's have a little mini series here, and then we can set up for our 4th Captain America. I think that's kind of cool concept. It'd be really cool. If other companies kind of I take another stab at something, from the MCU, like what Matt was talking about again before we were recording was, go ahead, Matt, with HBO Max. I set you up there perfectly with the Gotham series.
Yes, I know. I just want to screw with you. Well, because I had a little bit more leading into it. So I just want to say, when Kevin Feige was talking about how these shows were going to lead up to the movies, right? WandaVision, this was all going to have purpose, right? You had to watch these shows in order to understand some of the things that are going to happen in the movies, right? At first, we're like, well, that's just a cheap way to get people to get on your streaming service, because you figure when it comes to this, it's how original is any of this content going to be? WandaVision had a bunch of potential, and it was crazy to see all the speculation people had. I find WandaVision to be so funny because there were so many people that were just like riding the freaking speculation trail like crazy, like just pushing so hard. Like, what could this mean? Oh, because that guy that I forget his name that played Quicksilver in the Fox universe, I think Peters is his last name. And they're like, oh yes, here we go. Now we're introducing the X-Men. It's going to be a parallel universe. All these freaking possibilities, and it just turned into a boner joke.
Yeah,
he turned into a boner joke, and then it just became generic MCU shit right after that. Falcon and Winter Soldier is interesting because it's not like the MCU, well, at least in the way it's presented, the dialogue and everything. It's not very MCU like at all. It's quite different, dialogue wise. But boy, is it just. See, this is the problem, and whatever, DC fanboy, whatever you want to say, is that when I was watching this, and at first it got my attention because I was like, okay, this is kind of a cool concept. Obviously, Marvel does this thing where they'll dive into these very interesting concepts and go into their consequences very briefly, and then back right out of the whole thing. Like in Winter Soldier, it was the concept of punishing someone for a crime they might commit, or the thing like they bring it up briefly between Fury and Cap, but it really never goes from there, because then it becomes a Hydra thing about eliminating possible people that could rebel against them or some shit like that. And then in this one, they're talking about, how would a population react to what's going on after the blip, and then after the bringing everybody back. So half your population disappears, and you have to reorganize, rebuild structure, rebuild infrastructure, that everything to handle this. And then all those people come back, and you're only set up for so much in the population. So it becomes a conflict of like, and even is said at the end of this episode and everything, like at the end of the last week's episode, it's like people that came back 5 years later and someone else is living in their house. Like there's all these endless things,
I love that. I loved that concept from the show is what would happen. Like, holy shit, and this, I felt this show is not incredibly, but it was much more grounded than we have seen in the MCU previously.
But I feel like they kind of ripped, like it kind of came back a little bit, but I feel like they ripped that deeper element away and just kind of made it like it became Captain America as a symbol needed to represent something. So they took away all that. It was like they were trying to make him Superman. They were trying to, it's like the society needs hope right now. And that's kind of what I got from it. And while it's a cool premise and there's some cool things there, we've known on the record for a while. I mean, you can't have you can't have two characters more that we do not give a shit about more than Bucky and Clarence. Like those are like the two characters we could give the least two amounts of shits about. And I
would take a Gamora show over
Mantis and Gamora. I would do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of tough, but we still went through it. But man, I was like, I see what they're trying to do. This is a cool concept, how they're filling in those gaps. This is basically an 8-hour or 7-hour, or how many episodes it was, almost roughly movie that they were able to fill in those gaps and build these concepts. But at the end of it, I just didn't give a shit. I just could not care less about what was happening. And the last episode, I get it. I get what you're trying to do with Anthony Mackie and Falcon and him converting over into Captain America. And you were at first were doing it very subtly and doing it what I felt right, like in a good way. And then at the very last episode, it's just so hand-fisted in, just pushing it. Everybody, every little thing that he does, there's somehow people on a Brit everywhere just cheering him on, like yay! It just seems like they're overcompensating to try to push this fact that we're going to have a different Captain America. Mm-hmm. And you need to know that he's black, because they say that like 100 times in the last episode. Because if you didn't know that, you definitely will know it by the last episode. So they definitely got to push that. And it's just like, okay, we got it. Just let him get into it naturally. Just let him flow into it. The costume, I actually kind of like the costume. Yeah. The costume looks pretty good, especially for MCU quality. It looks pretty good.
Exactly to your point. I thought they did a good job initially at kind of like letting it happen naturally and kind of saying, he runs into the one guy who said there will never be a black Captain America. You get those like brief little glimpses of certain things, but yeah, it almost felt like they built it so slow and then they ran out of time and they're like, oh shit, he's not Captain America yet. Bam, now he's Captain America. Yeah. Instead of like letting it happen. And that's why the last episode to me came off so corny. Some of his dialogue was just not landing with me because of how quickly he's like, okay, he gets the briefcase and then boom, now I'm Captain America. Yeah. It's just, it was interesting and or maybe not interesting, I guess. And yeah, I did like the suit. I thought it was cool. I thought it looks good. I thought some of the stuff that he could do with, his wings and his jet pack and everything. And then, hugging the shield and having it come back. I thought it was cool. I thought some of the action in it looked cool. Someone compared it to the Dark Knight, I want to say, or no. It was Spider-Man 3 and them like fighting each other or something. One of those two things. When he like comes into the building, it reminded me a little bit of the Dark Knight, but it built up. The concepts was there. It was much more personal, which I really liked, especially early on. And again, maybe my expectations were so incredibly low that I was like, okay, I'm actually enjoying this. And then by the end of it, it just certain things didn't really work out, and we still don't really know. I guess it's hope, and it's us working together that is gonna, make this all go away, of the fact that all these other people show up and they got snapped back half the population. And I also like the fact that the concepts that they were talking about of like just one government that just cares about people and everyone trying to work together. Like, that's why they're the Flag Smashers, which I thought was kind of a corny name, but that's why they are who they are. And then, and it was a cool concept. And then it just kind of falls flat. Like, it just does not, I don't know. It was one of those things. They ran out of time,
which is weird. And I mean, with WandaVision, it did get cut short because of COVID in filming. I know that. So I'm wondering if something happened with this as well. Maybe we'll find out. But yeah, Captain America 4 is going to have Anthony Mackie, probably Winter Soldier, in it too. They're probably going to have Sebastian Stan come back because his story actually is still trying to be fulfilled as well.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. But I mean, it is what it is, and that's where Marvel's going. But I mean, I like the potential of what these shows do. And actually, what Shane was talking about earlier was this kind of got me excited for what the potential of DC versions could be, especially about Matt Reeves produced Gotham. If that could lead up, and we've talked about this a little bit, but now watching this, I'm like, okay, so they really could fill in gaps. If the Batman is going to be a trilogy in that concept, they could fill in gaps. They could fill in stories with the Gotham PD and other things that are going on in the area that fill in little pieces for the Batman trilogy. And that actually got me pretty excited. I like that concept.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I that gets me hyped. So really what Winter Soldier and Falcon did was get me hyped for the Gotham series.
Bam. Job well done.
Game, set, and match. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. Let us know what you guys think about it. I enjoyed it. WandaVision was okay. It had a lot of potential. Again, you feel like there's potential in all these.
Yeah, but WandaVision was so fantasy booked by the fans of like the endless potential that anything they delivered was going to be a letdown. Here's a new costume.
And now she's got weird eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
And her kids don't pop out as much. Boo.
Whatever. Boo.
But they could potentially, again, like I said before, but they could make her a villain. And if they made her a villain, I'd give them some kudos for that one.
Might be pretty badass.
But yeah, so Clarence is our new Captain America for Captain America 4. Maybe that'll be Serpent Society. Maybe they'll finally use that title. And
maybe
and get it going there. I don't know. It just kind of feels, again, like I said before, there's just, I don't want to be too dour, but man, comic book movies, it just feels like it's all running into the same circles. Like everything is gonna kind of just all start feeling the same. And hopefully we get some uniqueness out of something here. That's why I think I like Invincible so much. It's just because it's just something different.
Yeah. And the boys.
Just,
yeah.
And the boys, yeah. I see Hardboiled WB UK. So WB UK posted what did they this little video here. So I'll share it. Remove Shane shitty thing.
And this was almost in reaction, it seemed like to something else.
It did feel somewhat reactionary. There it goes.
It's time to stand, fight.
Number 1 on the official film chart, powered by the superfans, it's Zack Snyder's Justice League.
So WB Warner Brothers posted a 4K trailer of the crappy Justice League one, the one that came out in October before the movie came out. So it still has some Snyder stuff in it. which was hilarious because it still has. I take that as a yes about the ring. Like it still had that in the 4K trailer that they put out. Why they needed an updated 4K trailer for something that was old, I have no idea. That was the weirdest thing ever to be posted. And then WB UK posts this, and again, whatever the hell official film chart is, it's number 1. So this is obviously in the UK, and so currently, at least, Zack Snyder's Justice League is number 1. Again, like we've been saying, nothing makes any sense because then people will say, "Oh no, it didn't do well," but then over here in the UK, it's still number 1. What the fuck is going on? And that's just the game that everybody's gonna fucking play, and we're just the toys and the pawns and the whole fucking thing. And you know what? I'm gonna go play checkers.
It's a much more simpler game for simpler minds.
The thinking man's game. There's a comedian that makes that joke about like, is it checkers or chess? He's like, he had a cousin get out after like years in prison. I think it was checkers. And he's like, here, let's play. And he still wanted to play checkers when he got out of jail. And he's like, man, I don't want to play checkers. And he's like, man, you don't want to play checkers because it's a thinking man's game. He's like, no, it's a game that you can only play when you're incarcerated for 7 fucking years. And I had my freedom, asshole.
Awesome. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, so it's a topsy-turvy world out there, my friends. Things are crazy. Can't believe anything anymore.
We'll just continue to, chug along and enjoy what does get put out.
I've tried. I can't do a UK accent, which is crazy because I've done my ancestry thing. Like, and I cannot be any whiter. Like, I am whiter than white bread. Like, I'm a little dot. Like, there's some other dudes that are at my work. One dude's from Honduras, one dude's from Mexico, and they did the DNA thing. And the one dude from Honduras, he literally, as I put it, he looks like everybody from every continent in the world cummed in a bucket, and that was him. Because his whole map is lit up. He's everything. He's everything. Awesome. He's like 8% this, that, and everything else. At one point, he had 10% unassigned. He was so fucking weird. 10% of them, they didn't know what the hell he was. and so
it's like the tar from Superman 3. we'll just throw something in there.
So like me, I'm just a little dot, like right up there in Europe. I'm like just the whitest thing ever, and yet I can't do a UK accent. It's very sad.
I have a horrible English accent, but I do have kind of I think it's a funny story. About apparently my wife is always right. Clip that real quick, and then we can send it to her, so I can get out of arguments. But my kids and I, especially, this was a couple years ago. We're building up to go to Universal Studios and Disneyland on a family vacation. And so we were watching Harry Potter. And if you watch Harry Potter, it makes you want to talk like a Brit. And so we're watching that. And so we're talking like in grocery stores. We're at the mall when we're talking with these shitty English accents. So my wife is like, knock it off. Like, stop doing that. You're embarrassing me. You're going to embarrass yourself. We're just talking to everybody. So then we go to Southern California. We're doing the same thing. And we're at Disneyland, and we're in I can't remember what ride it is, but there's one that's like a tube ride that you get in, and you're in a group of like 9 people, and you're kind of sitting on a little tube, and then you're going down these rafts. It's it's like a water ride. So we're waiting like an hour in line. My wife isn't with us, and we're talking in this shitty English accent the whole time for the entire hour. Then we get on, and because there's only 3 of us, it was me and my 2 older kids. We get on this ride, and the people that were in front of us got on the ride with us because there's so many seats, and that's how they keep it moving. And it's this little, again, it's this tube thing. They were English, come to find out. And so I'm like, holy shit! The whole time, yeah. It wasn't Splash Mountain. I don't think it was Splash Mountain. But yeah, the entire time we're sitting in line talking with these shitty English accents. And then my stupid kids decide I'm going to try talking with the shitty English accents to the English people. I'm like, knock it. Are you out of your mind? Like, what are you? And I just, yeah.
Way to set the example, Shane, and then take it back.
Right. I was just like praying, like maybe they didn't hear us. Maybe they didn't hear us. But I know they did, because Grandpa, who's in front of us, was just laughing. He's just chuckling. And then we figure out like, oh, look for mom. And I was like, oh man,
Yours is better than mine. I can't even do that. Are you all right? And like it's like I can't even I can't do it at all, which is just crazy. I don't know why.
It's brutal. I guess I
can do an Australian one, but
I can't do an Australian. I get
I just know crikey.
Bloody hell.
Unfortunately, I have to start talking like the
awesome.
crocodile hunter in order to do it. Well, thank you so much, Justin, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, I have to start talking like the crocodile hunter in order to do it. It's mom, man, not mom. Yeah, so you got it right.
I thought that's what I knew.
You must be from Yorkshire. Yorkshire.
Exactly. Nerd. Yeah, it was brutal. So then we got off the ride. I was completely embarrassed.
Not too Irish.
No way.
We do Scottish because we do a bunch of groundskeeper Willie impersonations. Get the grease.
Nice.
Not my retirement grease.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh
Get
man.
the who's.
Exactly.
Get the who's.
Anyways, WB UK greater than WB US.
The noozle. Grab the noozle. The who's. Anyway, we do a bunch of stupid shit at work. God damn it! Now I'm thinking about it. We came to the conclusion that we can't have real jobs because of the weird ass shit we say at work. like we were just talking about certain shit, and like I don't know how much I'd get in trouble for saying this. Like there's one older dude that we have working with us right now, and like he's not at all, but for some reason we've just been nonstop and making fun of him about shit, and so like we just.
That's Matt on a normal basis, if you didn't know.
Yeah. Well, it's not even me. I'm not even the worst one. It's other people that are like way worse. I mean, they're saying things to him and shit. And anyway, vaguely like Arnold Schwarzenegger. A little bit. Get down. Gotta get the chopper. Anyway, that's my best one.
Oh, man. On that note, on our shitty accents that we cannot do because we are terrible. Thank you to everyone who has joined this stream. We appreciate it, as always.
I can kind of do a macho man. Yeah, sort of. I don't know. Anyway.
Didn't you do... There was a good episode. I enjoyed it. It was Macho Reviews, and I thought it was hilarious.
Am I supposed to try to say that in the British accent? Go for it, Shane. Read that.
No, I'm good.
hey, you guys, you're from Scotland. Anyway, I can't do it. I could do a pretty good Asian one, but that's going to get me in trouble. So. I'll do Rooney up here. Or Victor, what is that? Who's that? Who is it? I can't remember. Damn it. Anyway. No.
Do walking.
Anyway.
Matt can do a pretty good walking.
Now. Anyway.
Step into a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. We got that. Where are the peace-ons?
Where are the peace-ons? Oh, man. Dude.
I thought that was going to get you in trouble. I'm like, oh.
What?
It's just it was hard to figure out who you're trying to do with that impression.
I was just trying to do a regular old lady.
All right. Perfect.
It's up to you if you think it sounded like anything else.
I want to do a boo? No way. Anyways, before we get in trouble.
Dude. So I'll end on this one. You guys got to watch old Simpsons. Like that's the only thing Disney Plus is really useful for. Is I've been watching a bunch of old Simpsons. Oh my god, dude! There was a line that just killed me, floored me. And since this is at the end of the stream, I'm cool to say it. But so Homer's gonna miss their Civil War reenactment, and he was supposed to play Stonewall Jackson. And then Barney's like, they're like, oh, Homer's not going to make it. And he's like, oh, no, Barney, I don't really think we're going to believe in our Stonewall Jackson. And Apu comes out with a Confederate uniform on. The South shall rise again. And I just fucking lost it. I lost it so hard. The South shall rise again.
Oh, man.
And it was just killed me. I was like, man, that's classic shit right there. That's the only shit in the 90s you could do for sure. Oh, man. I miss Apu already. Anyway. All right, guys. You do a great Barney impression, huh? I don't know if that's natural or you actually is an impression or not. Anyway. Oh, anyway, in case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
The shall